Oh, baby, you can.
I got that on camera.
Oh, you did?
You tuned into the Radio Show. Are you ready for the show? The Tamika Hall Show. You tuned into the Are you ready for the show? The Tamika Hall Show. You tuned into the Radio Show. If you're ready, here we go. We hope you enjoy.
I did.
Now, singing really not where my anointing lies. I tell everyone.
There, worshipreneurs, this is Tamika Hall, and you are watching the Exploding Worship Arts podcast. For those of you that have been tuned in for the past couple of weeks, then I think you've really been enjoying this new format. I know that I have been loving it. Now, as you know, we are worshipreneurs. We've been created to make God famous, and I'm so excited to have a guest on today who's going to tell you how to take your book from being unknown to being known. We're going to be talking about how to create some book buzz with my auntie, my sister, my mom. Look, I call her mom today. I always call her auntie. Latanya Boyd of Faith the Believer consulting firm. And I'll tell you, I really love Latanya. She has been my publicist for over a year now. And I know you guys always see me either saying something on Facebook or, either posting it or I say it on a show. But it's because I really, really mean it. And we've gone from being in simply a client, a client relationship to we have a really great friendship and a great mentorship, a relationship. So that has been really great. So without any further ado, auntie, sister, hold on. For those of you guys that are watching now, Latanya is from New York. I'm broadcasting from Maryland, and so she has this New York accent. So I'm always messing with her because she'll be like, "It's your sister, yeah, auntie, yeah." so auntie, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, blessed, and highly flavored. I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share the platform with you and your listening audience and viewing audience. I know this is a new platform for you, Exploding Worship TV. So this is awesome. So thank you so much for this opportunity to share. And yes, she is my niecey.
Well, I'm excited to have you on here, and because I know a lot of people that you work with, they've probably never seen you. I mean, we didn't see each other until a couple weeks ago, and we've been working together for over a year. So I think it's a lot of fun that we have this opportunity to see each other, and people can see you and see exactly who you are. And I will say, everyone, my auntie is looking fly. She's got this hair, her little natural hair, nice and slick. And
yes, the whole natural.
And the whole reason why that's all significant is because when she first came into my life, she came to me because she initially sent an author to me. And then I went to her and I said, you know what? You're so organized. I love how you work. I need to talk to you because I'm a hot mess. I got a whole bunch going on and I don't know how to put it all together. And she said, okay, let me put my thinking wig on. And so now it's a lot of fun because she does not wear wigs anymore. This is all her hair. That's how y'all say it in New York. That's all her hair, all natural, no chemicals in it. And so I'm excited about that. Well, Latanya, let's talk about Faith the Believer, or the Fab virtual tours for those of us who are on Twitter and Facebook. Talk to us about the Fab virtual tours.
Well, Fab virtual tours is a great avenue for indie authors or even established authors to begin to promote and get the word out there. A virtual tour is the best way to reach the masses. And the reason why it's virtual is because you travel virtually. Some of you may be saying, what is a Fab virtual tour? What is a virtual book tour? It's different from doing a traditional book tour. With a traditional book tour, you go from city to city, state to state. With a virtual book tour, you get to travel virtually, online, different radio spots, different magazines, different blog spots, but you travel virtually. So you get to reach people on a different scale without leaving your home. You can do an interview in your jammy jams, as my granddaughter would say. You can do right there from your bed. So you don't have to leave your city or your town. You can do an interview right from your car. And so this is the beauty of doing a Fab virtual tour. I enjoy what I do. Again, you're going to travel virtually, online presence. And people call me that marketing midwife.
Yeah.
So where I help people to really elevate their brand and establish an online presence. So this is just a little bit of what I do during your Fab virtual tour. There's so much more that I do, and I truly enjoy, especially new author. I'm an author myself, and I noticed that the new authors weren't getting enough notice or recognition, or their product was being reached unless you go to the actual physical bookstore. That's where you can purchase the book. But you needed that online, so I decided to do the Fab virtual tours to kind of elevate them and be able to send their message globally across the world. So your books get to travel where you won't be able to travel.
And I love that. And for those that are watching, or you're tuned in from iHeartRadio, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, all the different places where we are, with the virtual tour, you have stops on different blogs. You also have radio stops, and then of course, I know that I've kind of started a new trend that's always fun of doing this via Skype. So there are a couple other people that are now doing it via Skype, and so that's really, really great. And the great thing about it being virtual is, like you said, you can do it right in your jammy jams. You write in your jammy jams.
I don't have my jammy jams on.
Me either. Because I needed to feel like I was going to work. But the great thing about it is because you literally can travel around the world from using your technology. And the technology part is virtually free. I mean, you can do it from your phone, or like us, where you're using your iPad, I'm using my laptop, and I just have a little cheap pair of earbuds in, but we're able to communicate and to really share the different things that we do. So that's what's so wonderful about virtual tours. And without trying to monopolize the conversation, what I will say about what you do that I love, because I know a lot of authors that are probably tuned in, they've seen a lot of different companies that offer virtual book tours. And one of the things that you've probably seen that I personally didn't like is that a lot of them will say, we're going to get you at least 3 stops for this particular price. Or you'll have 5 stops for this price. You'll get 7 stops for this price. And I personally don't like that, because I'll tell you folks, this is just Tamika's opinion. People who usually will put it out there and say, for this number of stops, this is the amount of money that you'll get, they only have a very short list of people that they work with. So they tend to work with the same radio host, they work with the same media outlets, and that really is not going to give you any type of buzz. What I like about what you do is that you actually tailor each tour with the author or the artist. I mean, you've worked with me as an author, and now you're working with me on my musical project. And I have actually tapped into a totally different realm of media, different radio hosts and things like that. So that's what I like about that. Why do you do it different? Because you you have a mentoring relationship with each client that you have. Why did you choose to do that?
And I'm glad you asked that question. I feel as though God has given me that gift of be able to coach or be able to mentor. I do the one-on-one marketing coaching with all of my clients. And there we talk about different marketing strategies. We talk about what their ultimate goals are. And this is why I do a Fab free consultation. I like that personal feel of listening to the client and seeing they get to know me, and I get to know them and see where their vision is that God has given them. And I aid in helping them to reach their goals and achieve their mission. And so in doing that, everybody's not the same. We can't all have a cookie cutter. We're not the same. You're not the same. You have different gifts and talents that God has given you. And so we want to be able to tap into those gifts and those talents and share it to the masses so people will be anointed. The Bible tells us, if I be, I'm a missionary. So I got the word in me.
That's it.
If I be lifted up, I will draw all men on to me. And part of that process is with the gifts and talents that we have in order to lift up the name of God and upbuild the kingdom. So everyone is not different. Every book that you've written is not the same. So you may have a children's book, so you want to gear towards that family audience with children and things of that nature. So everything is just not the same. And so you can't do the marketing or the promotion in the same sense. And so that's why I do everything different.
So where does your marketing background come from? Because you come from a corporate background, and now you're
Yes,
utilizing that in the kingdom marketplace. So where does your marketing
absolutely.
background come from?
I have over 20 years in marketing and working in the entertainment field, working with some of the top entertainment companies. And God has allowed me to be able to take those gifts and those talents when you tap into those things. You know, situations happen where you have to. I just did an interview with Delmar Johnson, and she's an author of Seasons of My Soul. And she talks about how we have to make that transition, how we have to reboot
Yes.
ourselves. Situation happens, life happens, and so we have to regroup and tap into some of the gifts and talents that we have, and how can we use it? And that's what happened to me. So the corporate world was no longer, so I had to tap in and draw from within the gifts and talents that I was able to use to help the kingdom. And so the marketing is about over 20 years in the marketing field and online marketing. And so that's what I do is the online marketing in helping authors and writers, producers, psalmists such as yourself and different ministries on how they can best reach their target audience.
Or in the for the title of today, create a buzz. Talk to us.
Create a buzz.
What exactly does that mean to create a buzz? And I know today we're speaking specifically to authors. So what does that mean for them to actually start creating a book buzz?
So creating a buzz is you really want to bring awareness to your project, whether it's your music or your writing or your drawing, whatever the case may be, you want to create buzz around it. So sometimes we have to think outside the box and not be so traditional. And that's what I love the beauty of God. He didn't make us one dimensional. He created, just mind be in you, let it also be in Christ Jesus. See, I minister no matter what I'm doing. I'm always teaching, I'm always coaching, and I'm always ministering. So God wants us to tap into those different creative avenues where we can create buzz around our different projects. And sometimes we get stuck, we get that tunnel vision. I use my hands a lot. We get that tunnel vision where we can't see outside the four walls. And how are we going to reach the masses if we're still in a box?
Mm.
So we can't be always traditional. We have to reach outside the box in creating buzz. And ask your question, how do we create buzz? We want to create buzz by being strategic in our planning.
Mm-hmm.
We want to devise a marketing plan, and we want to devise an online presence. So you want to bring awareness to whatever it is that you're promoting. I'll use me for example. I'm writing a Christian fiction book entitled Faith Learns How to Pray. And so in fact, Virtual Tourist does a cover reveal. And so that's one of the things of being creative in it. And it's a virtual cover reveal. And so you bring awareness towards the book in that regard. I hope I'm answering the question
Yeah.
for all of your listening and viewing audience on just thinking outside of the box, on reaching the masses.
So, in thinking about being creative with creating the buzz, what are some
Mhm.
mistakes that you think a lot of authors are making nowadays when it comes to actually creating buzz for their book?
The number one thing I would say is not having an online presence.
Mm.
You have to have an online presence. People um, like to feel warm and fuzzy. When you see those commercials on TV, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, those name brands, people like to feel connected to the brand. Why McDonald's, the Golden Arches,
Mm-hmm.
people like to feel that connection. And so the online presence would be the number one thing that I find that authors do not have. And so that's something you really want to establish. Also, if you're on one of the social media sites, I'll use Facebook. You don't want that professional headshot with the bathroom curtains and the towels.
Oh, please no!
As
Or
as
the toilet in the
or the
background.
toilet
What?
in the back. No, you don't
Or
want
your
those.
phone?
Yes, exactly. Hey, those type of shots because you got to keep in mind that you're creating a brand.
Yes.
And every touch point is a message when you're on social media. Every touch point is you're sending a message to those who are going to follow you, those who are going to subscribe to you. So those are one of the important things that you really want to look at. And that's what I do as far as the marketing coaching. I would look at all of your social sites, your website, all of your Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever it may be. I'm looking at that to see how we can best position you strategically in order to reach your target market. So that's something you should think about when you're on social media or any of the sites and establishing your website. That's what you need to think about, having that online presence.
I like when you said that everything that we do online, it's a touch point. And I think that's very poignant because I always tell people, you kind of, some people may not know because I don't really put it out there much now, but I'm one of those pageant queens. And one of the things that I used to say to people that I coach is I used to say, you win because you become tangible. Because people need to feel like they can touch you without really touching you. Like, please don't come and just touch me. But you want them to feel very, like you said, warm and fuzzy. And you want them to feel like they can get to know you and like you can be their friend, And so I think that's very good that you said, everything we do is a touch point. And I'm going to tell you, and somebody's going to be mad about this. I have been tagged in 4 different grown and sexy challenges. I don't know if you've seen that, where there are women and even teens that are, what they do is they're putting collages together of, I guess, them at their sexiest moment. And then you post your picture online, and you have partaken in the Grown and Sexy Challenge. And I'm refusing to do it. I'm just not going to do it. For me, that's not the touch point that I want for my brand, for my ministry. I don't want to put it out there that I feel like I'm sexy. Do you get what I'm saying? And somebody probably thinks I'm being too deep about it. But when people think about Tanyha Hall, they think about the person who loves to talk about worship. So I don't want to say worship on one hand, and then on the other hand, I'm talking about being sexy. So it just doesn't make sense to me. That's a touch point. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. So folks, stop tagging me in those, please. Love you. Let's talk about your new book. I feel very honored that just as you've been able to kind of help birth me, and you were the midwife for me going to the next level in my ministry. I'm very excited to have been part of you going to your next level in terms of becoming a published author. And you just released a book. I mean, with just a couple weeks ago, very short, maybe about 2 weeks ago. People eat with their eyes. So talk to us about your new book.
And that's something I tell everyone.
And it's over there in the corner.
Here it is. People eat with their eyes. Woo! Design cover by Tanyha Hall. Woohoo! So one of the things also is thinking outside the box. We talk about creating buzz for your book would be to create a book trailer. And so there are key points that you need to do, and you can do it on a shoestring budget. And so that's what this book is all about, how to DIY, do it yourself on a shoestring budget. I know there are some first-time authors out there who really don't have a great marketing budget established. And so this is a great tool in a book to show you how to captivate the attention of a prospective reader, how to design your own book trailer, and use it as a marketing tool as for a campaign, for your marketing campaign. I've also put a trailer out there that you can kind of see some of the touch points as to what people would, because they eat with their eyes. And so when they see, your book cover is definitely important to have a fabulous book cover made by Tanyha Hall, by the way, to create a good eye presence. So if your book is on the shelf, the first thing people look at, they don't really look at the title. They'll look at the picture, what's in the picture first. And then that's how the mind works. It takes the picture first and processes the picture, and then you take the words and put the words together. And so within the pages of the book, it gives you different websites. Where again, we're doing shoestring budget. There are some sites here you can do it totally free. But you just need some guidance on how to write a script. In here it tells you how to write a trailer, a book script, how to write a voiceover if you're having someone going to do a voiceover for you. It also shows you that you have to be very mindful when you're doing a trailer and you want to add different pictures or anything. You make sure that the stock is free stock photos. Otherwise, there's a fee for it. I've noticed some people put their trailers together and they may have BB or CC Winans singing in the background. You don't want to do that
No.
unless you have clearance.
Unless you're paying them royalties to use it.
Unless you're paying the royalty
Yes.
fee to have that music in your trailer. So there is free music sites that's in here where you can get music that will tie into your book, make sure it's fitting in. So if your book is a children's book, you want to make sure the music is befitting for your title, or if it's a romance, befitting for that title, and so on and so forth. So within these pages, you're going to get other people like Tamika Hall. She tells you how she put her trailer together and what tools she used. You can put a trailer together with your iPad. You can put a trailer together with your phone. And then it tells you different avenues of how to put it together once you get to your desktop or your laptop, how you can actually physically put it together so the production of it is smooth and looks very nice. So we want
And
to
you
work
also
in a
share,
spirit of excellence.
and you also share where you can distribute the trailer as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's, again, those touch points. You can upload it to YouTube. And so people can subscribe to your YouTube. You can upload it to Pinterest. Now, you can upload trailers to Pinterest. You can upload Facebook, all the social media networks, Twitter, all the Google Plus. You can also upload those trailers there. And again, you're beginning to think outside the box, creating buzz surrounding your book. And then you want to drive traffic. In
Yes.
here, I talk about those touch points, or you want to drive traffic back to your website, back to wherever your hub is. You talk about realty. So back to wherever your main hub is, you want to draw that traffic back there. And so this book will give you all of that information, right? It's a small little book. It's available on Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, latboyd.com, and purchase it. It's on Kindle as well as paperback. And so this is a wealth of information in this book to create that book buzz for your next book release. Or even if it's a current book release, if you want to repurpose your book, you can use a book trailer to repurpose your book. Take a subject from within the pages of the book and create a book trailer around that subject. And again, that's a great marketing tool to establish a marketing campaign.
I love it. I love it. And, I actually, I think when we were working to put the book together, I happened to do a search online, and there are people that actually teach you how to create your own book trailer. And I think it was something like $197 for the course. But I think the Kindle version is, how much is it for the book? It's under $5.
It's under $5.
It's under $5, and you literally
$5.
do tell people exactly how to
put
the trailer together, why you need a trailer, where to distribute the trailer. And I also love the fact that you have a bunch of different examples because, like you said, there are some trailers where they only use pictures. Some people choose to use voiceover. I'm very dramatic, so I like to have actors and stuff in mind. So you have a lot of different examples right there in the book. So it is a very great book that people should be able to get. Tell us once again how we can connect with you to book a tour, to get the book, and all those great things.
Absolutely. It's one-stop shop. All you have to do is log onto my website. It's latboyd.com. There you'll find everything you need to know to get connected with me. I am on Facebook under Faith A Believer. Right there on Facebook, and connect with me. I would love to be social and connect with all of your listening and viewing audience on today. And to start a tour, I work with a lot of authors who might be working full-time and really just don't have the time to seek out stop radio interviews or just to do that marketing campaign. And so I work with a lot of full-time authors who just don't know how to or where to begin. And so that's what I do with that one-on-one coaching. I teach them to the process from start to finish. And then once they sign up and become part of the Fab Virtual Tour community, I have an exclusive group on Facebook where I do monthly teleconference calls for that particular group. Now, this is an exclusive group. It's not open to everyone. It's just those who are part of the Fab Virtual Tour family. They get to be part of the marketing coaching that I do monthly.
And I love it. And I would be horrible if I didn't talk about the fact that you are a radio host as well. And I know you have probably over 300,000 listeners now worldwide. I mean,
Yes,
spiritual food for thought is just everywhere. So talk to us
yes.
about that very quickly and tell us how we can find your radio show.
Absolutely. Again, it's right there on the website, latboyd.com. And all you have to do is hit the radio tab. The title of the show is Spiritual Food for Thought Global Radio. I have 4 theme segments that I do. Author Spotlight, where you get to turn the pages and get to know some fabulous and gifted and prolific authors whose stories are told through the power of the pen. Then I have Sister Girl Table Talk, where we just let everything down, the hair, the nails, everything, and we keep it, yes, honey. And we keep it real on Sister Girl Table Talk, where we try to empower our sisters, whether you're a mother, whether you're a wife, a career woman, and we try to empower them to move and drive forward in this journey we call life. Then I have Midday Praise, where I invite some of the worship leaders out there, gospel recording artists I've had come on the show and just impact the kingdom with worship and praise.
You've
I
had
know
some
I've
incredible people. You've had like Jacqueline Carr. You've had Wes Morgan on there. You've had some
yes,
amazing people on the show.
yes, I have, and it doesn't stop there. We have more people coming on, so you really want to tap into our website and subscribe to
You had
our.
Tamika Hall.
I had Tamika Hall.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, and she just released her latest single. That's right. It's the #1 on the charts. Here I am. So you need to run out and purchase that
That's it.
as well. So yes, so we had some fabulous artists on the program as well. I know I'm forgetting one. I think I said 3. I think I'm forgetting one, but everything is right there on the website of latboyd.com.
And I'm sorry, I'm probably the reason why you forgot it, because I stopped
That's
you in the
okay.
middle of your flow. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I do that. I tend to derail you a lot, so I apologize for that. But
That's okay.
Latanya, I really appreciate you just coming onto the show, and you really shared a lot of great information on how authors can, number one, stop doing the things that we do that kind of takes away from creating buzz about the book. And I think it's never too early to think about creating that buzz. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, if let's say somebody is brainstorming a book right now, at what point should they start thinking about creating that marketing plan? Like, at what point would you prefer? Because I know a lot of authors come to you after it's done. When would you
Yes.
love for authors to come to you in their book writing process?
I would say in the middle of the process. You know what? I like to encourage all writers out there just to begin the process. You know why? Because life happens, things set in, and then you don't get to finish the project. So I say finish the project, continue to write, and once all is said and done and you have it at your editor, your manuscript at the editor, because it has to be edited, at that point, while it's at the editor, because it is a process sometimes, then reach out, think about your marketing strategy. I've done a teaching on learn how to rock your book on Amazon. So there's different ways you can really be creative in marketing, in producing your book trailer, just different ways. So after the book is done, and the reason why I say that is because once the book is done, everything is up here that God has put out, that you can be a little more creative and you can tap in because you know what the storyline is about. You know if it's a subject, what the subject is about, and there you can take it and spin off from there. And so that's what I work with the clients. And some books you already have this already established. I already mentioned a little bit about repurposing that book, taking a subject out of the book and begin to repurpose it. Some of my clients are looking to be speakers, motivational, inspirational, career speakers. And so I tell them you have to have a speaking tool. What's your subject? Take a subject out of the book. The book is going to leverage you. I also want to put this disclaimer out there. This is a disclaimer. A virtual tour does not,
No.
hear what I'm saying?
I already
Does
know.
not guarantee sales.
Mm-hmm.
So don't have that misconception that I'm going on this tour, I'm going to make thousands and thousands of dollars. Womp womp. That's not what a virtual tour does. A virtual tour gives you exposure. You're gaining exposure. You're
Yes.
connecting with readers and supporters. That's what the virtual tour does for you. So that's my sidebar. Um, and what the virtual tour does. So I was talking about how to repurpose your book, and the book will leverage you to that next level, taking a subject out of there and using that content as your speaking tool, or put it on that one sheet for your speaking topic.
I mean, now, I agree with you. Honestly, there's nothing really can guarantee that you're going to have thousands and thousands of
Mhm.
book sales, because at the end of the day, it has to be content that people want to read, you know. So people have to want to purchase it, and all those great things. But I have to give you kudos, Auntie. I mean, I think even in the last 6 months, I think at least 5 of your authors have become bestsellers. I
As
mean,
authors,
and
absolutely, yes.
at least 5 of them, and that's just, and you yourself, your book that's right there. I mean, where I'm looking at you, it's probably on your left side, but I don't know what it's going to be when people are actually watching this. Yeah, there it is. Jumpstart your day. That book
Covered by
actually.
Tamika Hall.
Ah, yeah. I had a great opportunity to design that cover and to design that book as well. But that book, within a day, was number 3 on
Number
Amazon.
3,
So
yes, under the
why?
category of spiritual growth.
Yeah, and so like you said, now you can't guarantee that it's going
I
to
can't guarantee.
You can't guarantee it's going to hit best-selling status,
Mhm.
but but because of the fact that the authors, including yourself, were put in front of literally thousands of people,
Those are people.
and so you can't guarantee the sales. But what you can guarantee is you're gonna actually, people are gonna know who you are.
Yes,
By the time that it's over,
exactly.
and honestly, a
Exactly.
lot of times you can strike gold with that. And so, I think that you do a great job with your tours, and I just thank you so much, and I thank you for being here. And
Thank you.
yes, and for everyone that has been tuned in, listen, I want you to make sure that you connect with my auntie. That's how they say it in
Yes.
Georgia. Connect with my auntie at www.latboy.com. She is a major friend to the Exploding Worship Art Show, and obviously to my life. Make sure that if you have not done so, download my free phone app. You can find that at tamikahall.com/phone app. What? That's simple. Also, make sure that you subscribe. I just got tongue twisted. Make sure that you subscribe right here on YouTube, on iHeartRadio, Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, any of the places where you're listening to this show from. Make sure that you subscribe. And then last but not least, I want you to make sure that you go on over to Rock Your Faith. That is my graphic tee line, and I'm adding jewelry to that. You're going to love, love, love it. I love you all, you worshipreneurs. Follow me online, www.tamikahall.com. Have a blessed day.